Welcome to our class focusing on our neck, the upper spine, and our shoulders. Come to a seated position. I'm going to just give you a heads up that we'll be in a seated position for a while. So if you want to sit on a chair, seated position can mean just on the edge of a cushion in any position, cross-legged, kneeling. If you kneel, make sure you have something behind those knees to protect the knees. But anything that makes you comfortable enough to stay in this position for a little while, to come into our breath, and then also to come into that to some really great relief for our neck. First, let's find that edge of whatever cushion you're on. Take the sits bones at the base of the spine to the edge of that blanket or cushion. And notice if your pelvis, just use your mind's eye, travel down to the base of the spine and to the pelvis and see if that's tilting forward like a bowl tilting forward, so that we're allowing that graceful curve in the lower back, rising up towards the rest of the spine. The shoulder blades roll down the back, gliding down the back. And then we have the shoulders in line with our ears. So we're starting to line up that upper spine, our focus today. The ears and the shoulders in line. And then we take our mind's eye to the back of the skull and see if we can match that up with the sacrum, that triangular bone at the base of the spine in between the sits bones. And then as our last landmark, we'll travel up past the ears, past the skull into the top of the skull, the crown of the head, and see if we can lift that a little higher towards the sky. And as our exhale naturally happens, the shoulders roll down away from the ears, already allowing for some freedom in the neck. So see if you can just witness that change already from the mind's eye traveling around and giving ourselves some space in the skeleton. Inhale, exhale. Let's just take that simple breath, and you can close the eyes to witness the breath for a few rounds and notice yourself coming into this present moment, coming into the space you're in, feeling ourselves connected through this practice around our spots on the globe. Inhale and exhale. And through our breath, we can come together just by matching that inhale and exhale. It's that simple. And we'll be taking a more conscious breath, the conscious breath practice in a moment. But entryway, our gateway to the practice is simply noticing where we are and being grateful for the time that we have to nurture our bodies, bringing ourselves, our mind and body and spirit into a place of alignment, greater capacity for breath, greater capacity for love, harmony, joy. Inhale, exhale. So before we begin the conscious breath, I just want to palpate and bring our sensation of touch to the neck area. So you can keep the eyes closed if you want, or rub the palms together and rub the fingers together so you can warm your hands. Warm them up, inhale and exhale. And then take the hands to the sides of the neck, just feeling, and you can take a nice gliding action with the palms down the neck. So from the ears down to the shoulders, just give yourself a nice stroking there, because just to notice as you do that, there is a soothing sensation, soothingness to that sensation. And that is related to the vagal nerve that is traveling down the sides of the neck. That's communicating to the entire nervous system. This is a great way to activate that, to tone that nerve. So many connections, our brain connected through the neck to the spine to the rest of the body. So let's give it some love today. And you can even take your thumbs to the base of the skull and just massage the occiput, so that occipital ridge at the base of the skull where it connects to the neck. Circle your thumbs outward and then inward. And just feeling the fingertips on the skull, right? So we're just at that top of our spine. And then slide those fingers slide the thumbs to your ears and just pull on the ears outwardly. As you pull on the ears outwardly, you can loosen that jaw a little bit and just feel it open a little more, slide side to side. So again, let's starting at the top, just giving our neck more space to serve as that beautiful channel to our rest of our nervous system. And then take the fingertips to the third eye in between the eyebrows and give a massage across the eyebrows to the temples. And then circle around the temples with your fingertips in one direction. Inhale. Exhale, change directions. Great. So now we've gotten that sense of our head and our neck in space. Drop the hands to the thighs. Inhaling, exhaling, feeling the thighs drop with every exhale. You can float the eyes open. We're going to do a Jalandhara Bandha breath exercise. Jalandhara Bandha is one of the locks in the body. These are harnessing areas of the body in yoga that help us bring the energy in and savor the energy in the body, the good energy. So there are bandhas at the root of the pelvis. There's bandha at the middle of the body in the diaphragm, and there's a bandha in the neck, just cradling that neck and that head. So already, if you can feel that alignment and just that base of the throat, giving us that beautiful lift through the head. So inhale, and as you exhale, tuck the chin into that jugular notch in between the collarbones. Exhale and hold that drop. So you're getting your chin at the end of the exhale, hold that end of the exhale, looking down. And then inhale, brings your chin back up, looking, gazing up, keeping the gaze soft. Inhale, exhale, and then drop the chin. So this is at the pace of your own breath. And see if you can pause for a moment at the end of the exhale, feeling that drop of the chin, tucking into the jugular notch. It's very important that the heart stay lifted here. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, tuck the chin, keep the heart tall, keep the sternum shining forward like the light, the beam of light. And then float the chin back up. So you can continue with your path of breath. What we're doing here is toning also the thyroid function. And see again, pausing at the end of the exhale, holding the chin, and then coming back up. We're also nurturing self-expression, communication, that voice that resides within the neck and the throat. 2 more rounds here. Freeing up a path of breath. Gentle nodding here through the neck, not through the mid-back, but just the neck. Great. Hopefully that freed something up. Bring the gaze back up. Roll the shoulders behind you. So these are just nice healing actions for the neck and shoulders whenever you need them. Roll the shoulders back. Notice that maybe you'll hear some sounds in the shoulders. That's okay. Roll them forward. So we're increasing that flexibility in our shoulder sockets. Great. And as we feel those roots of our sits bone grounding us to the earth, you might want to change the cross of the legs if you're in cross-legged, and allow the fingertips to float to the earth. So use those fingertips as roots into the earth. Really feel those extra tendrils connecting you to a strong base as you inhale the crown of the head up towards the sky. Exhale, look over the right shoulder with your chin. So we're matching. If you can match the chin to the shoulder level, great. If not, go as far as is comfortable. Come back through center, exhale to the other side. So we're exploring that rotation. Just go back and forth with your breath. And then as you do this, just feel in your mind's eye inside the top. So inside the ears, in between the ears, we've got the atlas and the axis at the top of the spine, allowing this gliding rotation through the neck. And then come back with the gaze forward. Let's explore a little more, looking up towards the sky, feeling that other rotation. And then drop the chin again as we were with our breath work, exhaling down. So now we're traveling in the directions. Our neck does allow us to travel a bit, right? The eyes, bringing the gaze soft, upward to neutral. Inhale, grow tall. Feel the spine lift as you inhale. Exhale, take the right ear toward the right shoulder. So we're softening here. There's no force. We're allowing gravity to take its course as we root through the left fingertips. Inhale the left ear up in that energetic way, and exhale, right ear down. You can release the left fingertips and point those fingertips nice and actively and strong towards your left side, and just circle that hand, tiny circles, feeling that flossing along the nerves of the trapezius, and then circle back the other direction. Great, and then let's land those fingers down again. Inhaling, exhaling, and then taking the right hand and lifting the right ear up. So supporting a tall lift here, and then root the fingers, exhale, the left ear toward left shoulder. So be soft here. This is definitely, the trapezius is a tender area holding so much of our stress, of our mental stress. Be kind and just notice the stretching that we're creating by rooting through the right fingertips. Really feel your press into the mat as you lift the right ear on an inhale up towards the sky. Exhale the left ear down. And soften. Release the right fingertips from the mat. Point them down, bringing the fingers together and circling. And your next inhale brings that circle in another direction. And you feel that all the way down the arm, feeling all of our connections from even the crown of the head all the way down to the fingertips. Okay, find the mat again with the right fingertips. Take the left hand, support the rise of the head. Inhale and exhale, close the eyes, just feel the top of the spine. Get a sense of, and shake your head in a no direction and in a yes direction, just kind of noticing there and allowing those muscles to respond instead of rushing to our next movement. Inhale and we'll open the eyes. And take the arms out to a T. So we're feeling that stretch across the collarbones. Again, all those muscles connecting to the neck from the collarbones, scalenes and such. Let's reach through the fingertips. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Inhale. Feel those wings rise up. Exhale, drop the shoulders away. So the movement's coming from the shoulders and holding those shoulders down. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Beautiful. And let's look over the right fingertips. We'll do this later on as well. Right fingertips, take the gaze, the chin over the right shoulder, and then take your left hand, press that palm into an imaginary wall. And then slide the left hand along that wall to the back behind you. And notice again our nerves along the arms getting a new pathway. And then slide it back forward on that left side. Back to T arms, bring the gaze over, chin travels over, looking over the left fingertips into our horizon. Press the right hand into an imaginary wall. And really keep that active as you slide it along the wall. Noticing you feel it all the way through that carpal tunnel area in the wrists. If there's any static energy, just clean it out and slide it back forward. And back to T arms, bring the gaze up, reach the arms up towards the sky. Feel that reach through our side body, starting to activate the muscles in the side body. As if you're picking a summer fruit above you, look up, and reach up on the right, and then the left. Oh, feels so good. And then allow the hands to drop behind the skull again. Clasp your fingers together at the base of the skull. And in this very tall position, you're going to take those cupped hands at the base of the skull and give it a very small millimeter lift to the skull away from the spine. So you feel a teeny bit of traction there. And then release that. And we'll open up the elbows outward and look up, supporting the lift of the head. So when we look up, we want to use the heart to look up. We want to use our eyes. So we support that beautiful curvature in the upper spine. And then we're going to close the elbows together, exhaling. See if they can meet there in the middle. And then open up again. 3. Let's open and close them 3 times. So like a butterfly pace. When that discovery, you see that butterfly on a leaf, just gently exercising its wings. Let's do that. Great. Continuing our sequence, let's take those arms out again in our full wingspan. And then we'll take the arms up towards the sky, and that our wings just going as if we're flying on the runway. Inhaling and exhaling down, touching down. One more time up. This time, take the right arm under left, and we're taking eagle arms. The forearms come together. The back of the hands come together, elbows at shoulder height. You can take the palms together as well for the full wrap. So feel that across the rhomboids and between the shoulder blades. Now let's take the shoulder blades together and then take them away from each other, and the elbows will respond by going forward and back. And you can floss that back and forth. Now bring the shoulder blades together and see if we can slide the elbows over towards the right shoulder. Just seeing that, and then you can bring the gaze forward and then watch as we go to the other side. So the elbows go to the left shoulder, stretching across the biceps, the deltoids. And then let's come back to the middle. Bring the elbows up towards the sky. Again, bring the heart with you, the eyes rising up, exhaling. Bring the elbows towards the navel as you start to curl in the spine. And look down. And then inhale back up to center. Sweep out into our wingspan again, up towards the sky, sweep down left under right. Find your comfort level here with the back of the hands together or the full wrap of the palms together. Find your neutral space here, and then separate the shoulder blades and bring them together. Exploring what's beneath those shoulder blades, the muscles that support our shoulders. So we're gently doing a lot of exploration today in practice of that intricacies that we have in the neck and shoulders, right? Come back to a neutral place, and we'll take the elbows over towards the left shoulder at that shoulder level. And gaze forward, and then we'll take the elbows over to the right. Coming back to center, bring the gaze and the elbows up. And let's exhale it down, elbows to our navel. You can use that same Jalandhara Bandha lock, just tucking that chin in at the end of the exhale. And then bringing it on up. Beautiful. Sweep the arms out again, full T, and we're getting nice toning in the arms here. Take it to cactus hands up, nice forearms up, and we'll take the thumbs back. This opens up that space again in the neck and the collarbones. Dip those pinkies, the thumbs back, pinkies up, come back, palms forward, and hang laundry on a line with your forearms and your hands. So just release through those elbow sockets, and then come on up. Elbows back, feel the glide through, and then palms forward, hang it down. One more time. Come on up, elbows back. Ooh, feels good. Okay, and then come down. So this whole sequence, you can feel free to repeat it. Bring the elbows into the ribs. Repeat that sequence anytime you need that. And that will be a lot of times dealing with our tech neck, right? After we've been hunched over all too often. Let's take the wrists and give them some relief. So we're turning some faucets in front of us, just as our last little sequence here before we go to stand. And then we'll do the royal wave. Hey out there, and hallelujah, looking up at the blue sky. Whew, and float those hands down. Why don't we swivel the wrists as we come down gracefully, gracefully, feeling the connections, all of the finger and the wrists. Beautiful. Just feel the freedom. Sit here for a moment. Inhale. Exhale. Feel the settling through those sits bones and just feel the difference in the spine. Close the eyes. Travel along up and down the spine with your breath. And just notice the areas that might need some unlocking today. And as we enter the rest of the practice, open the eyes and unfurl yourself from your seated position. And we'll move the props aside. And before we go into our downward dog, I just want to do a little review for the shoulders. So you can, I said we were coming up from seated, but just take another moment in seated. Take your right arm in front of you, so in that horizontal position, and take your left hand to the top of your upper arm. So just take the left hand, top of upper arm like this, feel the fingertips pointing on, the palm is down. So we're going to open up the rotation of the shoulder here. Your left fingertips are facing up towards the sky, and then you're going to turn them outward away from the body. So we're outwardly rotating the shoulder. The skin will, the bones will respond when the skin turns, right? And as you do this, you're just noticing the outward rotation of the arms, and then you're going to take the palm up with it. So now the palm is open and we've got that outward rotation. You can keep that support through the left hand. Now take your palm down, keep the outward rotation on your shoulder and turn the palm down. So that might be hard for you to turn the palm down. If it's really hard for you to come to a palm down with the outward rotation on the shoulder, then with downward dog, maybe you'll want to take yourself to the forearms. Just notice that you want to be kind to the wrists here. Let's switch to the other side, left arm out, and then fingertips of the hand of the right side, hold the upper arm and outwardly rotate, and then the palm will come up towards the sky. Take that same outward rotation on the upper arm and take the palm down. So you feel that rotation through your shoulder socket, but then that's kind of a downward dog action there with the palm down. Exhale, let's come down. And now we're going to take ourselves to our all fours on our way to down dog. So we're going to take the palms towards the top of the mat, index fingers pointing to the top of the mat, spread the fingertips, and notice up in the shoulder sockets, we're going to roll the shoulders away from the ears, which is taking that outward rotation spiral that we just did. And if you're not comfortable with the palms down, if that didn't work for you in our exercise, then you might want to come to your forearms. But let's take those feet behind us, curl the toes under, lift the knees off the mat, and just reach up into a down dog. And keep the knees bent, bring the ribs towards the knees, towards the thighs. And let's see if we can activate that freedom in the neck. Just feeling the soft face, feeling that reaching through the crown of the head without straining, and allowing a little drop there. Pedal the feet. So the right heel comes to the floor, towards the floor, and then the left heel. And we're keeping those knees bent, micro bend here to begin with as we come into that hamstring stretch. Inhale, exhale. Lengthening through those vertebrae, so we're allowing space. The neck, the shoulders, they just love space.
but we don't give them a lot of space in a common daily activities, in our straining and thinking and all the things we do. So this is a nice opportunity to do that. And let's take ourselves into tiptoe, bend the knees, bring the ribs to the thighs. So you're feeling those knees bend and you're just reaching along through the spine. Keep the length in the spine away from the hands as you take the heels towards the floor evenly. Great. Oh, and express that downward dog, lifting the hips. Now we're going to come forward, and the right foot is going to come forward into a low lunge. So we're coming forward towards a plank, but inhaling the right knee forward. Feel free to help that ankle along the way so that the right foot comes forward into a right leg lunge. And we're going to curl the back toes under. Let's activate this low lunge and get all the benefits of it. So we're going to take our hands down. You take the fingertips or the palms to the floor. And that right foot is our anchor in the front here. We're going to keep the knee behind the toes, keep it all healthy. And then the back leg is nice and straight, but not overly hyperextended in that knee. Magnetize your feet together energetically, and you feel the wake up along the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine through the crown of the head. Exhale, let's turn into a twist so the sternum turns towards the right knee, and we're reaching that right arm up towards the sky. And as we do this, take the neck along with it if you can, looking up at your right hand. So make this a beautiful coil through the spine. Come down to that low lunge again, exhaling. Inhale, feel the length of the spine. Exhale, bend the back knee, tiptoe forward with your left foot. So we're coming into a forward bend with our feet hip width apart and knees bent. And hang our head down here, hands on the floor. And just feel that release through the head. So the head, our brain, it's such an amazing tool, right? And we carry it. That neck has a lot of work to do. So just release it here for a moment. You can shake your head yes and no, gently. And now keeping those hands on the floor, let's take it to the fingertips. So we, again, those tendrils in. Inhale into a flat back, keeping your knees bent. So you're noticing a flat horizontal back here, that shape, and then exhale, drape it over the spine over the thighs and drop the head. And one more time, inhale, exhale down. If you want to see what it's like to have the straight leg here, you can explore that, or you can stay with the bent knees if you have some lower back issues. Inhale, sweep the hands to the top of the thighs, supporting that hinge, inhaling into that flat back, and exhaling as we come up, hinging up, up, up into our standing position. Beautiful. Once we find mountain pose with our feet nice and anchored, hip width apart at the top of the mat, we're going to sweep the arms open. I'm going to show you with my facing this way, but you can stay at the top of the mat. Inhale, the arms up towards the sky, really feeling the side body is the action here as you grab the right wrist with your left hand. And feel that stretch along the right side as you lean over to your left. And as you lean over, we're going to take the right foot and sweep it behind the left. Bend the front knee. That's the left knee. Inhale, feel the expansion of the ribs. Exhale, you're just going to lean a little bit more over to your left and feel the whole right side getting a nice ironing out, softening your right ear toward right shoulder. The neck is part of this dance. Come back up, sweep the arms down as you bring that right foot back to our base. Inhale, sweep up towards the sky. Right hand grabs left wrist, leaning over to the right.
And allow the left foot to travel behind the right, and bend the right knee. Again, feeling the strong base of that left foot, we're going to lean over to the right. And it's not just here at the top of the spine, but we're starting at that left foot, and you're making an arc, leaning, expanding across the left side. And float back up and come back. Feet and arms. Inhale the arms up towards the sky again. And then sweep the arms back so that the palms meet the base of the spine, the lower back. And from here, we can just feel those elbows reaching back and really unrounding the back, right? So we're arching the back into a standing camel pose. And then as you point those fingers towards the heels, feel that press and support into the lower back, and then look up at the sky. Beautiful. Maybe pressing down and bringing the arch into the mid back too. Find your neutral stance, mountain pose again. And let's clasp the fingers behind the head again, elbows out to the side. Give a gentle lift there. And turn the head side to side, supporting at the base of the skull. So we keep that length and space in those very intricate vertebrae. On that side, right and left. And then back to center, look up. And then look down, just support this movement through your hands, and then come back to neutral. Sweep the arms next to the side, and then sweep the arms to the sky again. Meet in prayer position. They press together at the top, feeling even taller. So we're going to transition here with our right foot forward, our left leg back into a proud warrior. So I want to make this real smooth. So inhale the arms up, exhale, reach back with your left foot and just step back to the back of your mat. And we're going to transition to our proud warrior. This means bringing those hips more forward. So let's align the feet in the same plane as we turn towards the front. Exhale those arms down to our T position and bend the right knee towards the middle two toes. So we're coming into proud warrior, transitioning. Do be careful with the knees as you make these transitions. Look over the right fingertips and find that middle point. Find your axis, your spine in space, and their feet find each other magnetized. Great. And here from our base, our strong base of our proud warrior, we're going to take beautiful shapes with the spine. Let's first take the left hand, press against that imaginary wall like we did when we were seated, and slide it against that wall behind you as you keep the gaze nice and steady towards the right, and then bring it back. So we're doing that same nerve floss here, and then back to a T. Relax the neck here and drop the fingertips on the left side towards the left thigh. Inhale, right palm up towards the sky, and then the gaze comes up, peaceful warrior. What better pose for our world right now than peaceful warrior? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, feel the base nice and strong. We're strengthening that foundation. And then bring it back forward to our T arms, gaze forward. Now just, give the neck a right to left. Again, if you feel those quads engage, fantastic. We're getting some toning through our legs. If the knees hurt, come up and just give yourself a break. Coming back to our proud warrior base, and we're becoming our archers. So bring the gaze over the right. Fold your left, bend the left elbow, fold the left hand towards the left shoulder, slide it along the sternum, and then slide your left hand along the right arm, and then pull back as if you're pulling on a bow and arrow, an archer, elbow back, and then straighten out the left arm again, and then gaze behind you. So sorry if that was a little long-winded, but let's try it again. So watch as you slide that left hand across the chest towards the right hand, and then back, following your breath. So repeat this twist, gentle twist of the mid and upper spine. As you do this, bring the meditation into a goal for the future, looking into the past behind you, for all that supports you. One more rotation. Leave it behind you. Bring the gaze forward and then over the right. So we're going to transition now, and we're going to windmill the arms towards the top of the mat to a low lunge. Very gracefully and carefully transition that back foot into our curled toes. So we're in our low lunge with the right side. So find that lunge. Be careful as you transition with your feet, please. And then sweep back to a down dog. And feel the length of our down dog here. Inhale, exhale. Anytime you want to come into a pose like child's, you can do that. Inhale, next inhale brings the left foot forward. You can support that as it comes forward. Find our left leg lunge here. Beautiful. Let's take a twist. Find the base of the right hand and open up to the left. Coil the spine again. If you can, keep that head in line with the spine and look up sideways at that left hand. And then come on back down to our low lunge. Bend that back knee and come forward into our forward bend. Spending a little bit more time here in our straight knee if you can, or bend the knees, whatever's comfortable. Inhale into a flat back, hinging at the hips, hands at the hips. We're going to come on and hinge up to standing. And then inhale the arms up. Take a more simple side bend here. Right hand grabs left wrist, leaning over to the right. Back up. Left hand grabs right wrist, leaning over to the left. Exhale. And then we're going to sweep the arms to the base of the spine, hands meet, clasp our fingers again, and feel the weight of the hand, reaching hands together, reaching towards the heels, and look up, opening up across the shoulders, shoulder blades come together. Right now, if you recognize the Beatles there. Good job. Okay, come back and then sweep the arms up. And now they meet in prayer position above the head. We're taking the opposite proud warrior. I'm going to walk to the other side so I can show you. And we're going to sweep back that right foot, arms out, pointing strong towards our proud warrior stance. And you're going to scoot your feet carefully with the knees. And then find your proud warrior, bend that left knee. You can bring the gaze forward and then back over the left, finding our strong base here. Magnetize the feet together so that you really can use the muscles along the legs. And then press the right hand into the imaginary wall, slide it across that wall or behind you, and then forward. And then come to the T position. Find our peaceful warrior. Drop the right fingertips towards the right thigh, left palm up to the sky in our receiving, and then reaching up, looking up. Keep our spine gentle here, but it does do a great opener for our spine. Looking up, peaceful warriors, bring them all, call them up. We need our peaceful warriors out there. Let's get them all together. And then come back to our proud warrior. Bend the right arm, right hand to the heart, cross the heart, meeting the left palm in front of you. And then look back, watch it release to behind you, to the right. See if you can find that harmony of motion in the upper spine. As you repeat this movement, keeping our legs strong. And one more time. Release one last time behind you. Great. Bring the gaze forward for a moment and then look over the left. We're going to windmill the arms again into our low lunge on the left side. So sweep it down and be careful as your feet find their base in our low lunge. And always try to get that knee tracking behind the toes in that front, always. And this nice long low lunge. And then the right knee finds the mat down and sweep the left foot behind you. Briefly, we'll be here in a lovely twist for our neck. Come find a base of all fours. If you need to cushion your shins underneath you with a blanket, you can do that. Take a moment. We're not rushing. Come into all fours. So we've got our shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. Inhale the left arm up to the side. So we're in a side plane here. And we're going to bring the neck into this as we gaze up at the left hand. And then sweep that left hand up towards the sky. Exhale, thread the left hand under the right armpit and watch it go. And we're going to bring the left ear down to the mat into our twisted cat. So take the right hand in front of the face there and just feel that support of your right hand as a base. Flip your left palm up and down, bringing this into the shoulder socket. Inhale and exhale, release. So you might find that your hips are all wonky wonks. So see if you can find them to be even in space, carpenter's level, kind of evening them out. And then you can even walk your right fingertips up toward 12 o'clock above the head if you'd like to extend a little more. Find something strong in this foundation. So find the shins as your base, the hips, the length of the spine, and then walk the fingertips back using that strong base of your right hand. Unswivel yourself, and we'll take the other side, finding your neutral spine here. Inhale the right arm up towards the sky. Watch your right hand. So the neck is part of this action. And thread it under the left armpit, right arm, right ear down to the mat. Left hand in front of your face, supporting the twist. Take that. If you're hanging a picture and you had the level, that beautiful carpenter's level, find that in your hips and just see if you can even things out on that level. We're getting a lot of toning through our that Jalandhara Bandha today. So turning our neck. See if you can walk the fingertips up towards the top of the mat to 12 o'clock. Release and exhale. Really extend the exhale. And then walk the left hand back. Unwind. And we're going to switch over towards our bridge position. Bringing the hips there, take that block because you're going to come in handy. Use your hands behind you. Snake your spine down to the mat. And ease down with the hands behind the skull, really protecting the neck. Ease it down to the mat. Drape your arms next to the body. Find your heels, the back of your heels with your fingertips, and set that alignment. So alignment here is the back of the skull, that with the sacrum at the base. We're in our horizontal. We're going to activate our Jalandhara Bandha here, the throat bandha, by coming into bridge. This is an excellent way to give therapy to the upper back and also the mid back. So we're going to lift the hips up, curl the spine up, the tailbone curls up, and we're taking that shape with the spine, press through the arms, bringing the sternum towards the chin, gazing upward. So as we do this, remember we were doing that breath sitting up. This is the same action. That chin comes towards the collarbones. Keeping your gaze upward though. So just hold bridge for a moment, pressing through the feet. Inhale. Exhale, find the strength in the arms. See if you can find that block in space nearby. Place the block beneath the sacrum and snake yourself down and place the sacrum on the block. And just feel that settling in of your sacrum on the block, lifting the hips out up in space, keeping bridge shape here, but just supporting it so we can have a little bit of a spa experience, just relieving our low back. Inhale. Exhale. So we're still lifting that mid and upper back so that we support the unrounding, the shoulders melt away from the center. Such a lovely feeling. And then straighten out the legs into standing. So it's like a laying down Tadasana, Supta Tadasana. Lifting the hips up so we get a stretch through the upper body. Inhale, the arms next to the ears. Inhale. Exhale, nice and long. Exhale as you bring the hands, arms next to the body again. Bend the knees, feet to the floor, and we're going to take a supported shoulder stand here, keeping that block beneath you. Inhale, the knees up towards the sky, so our feet are to parallel. And then we're going to take the feet, soles of the feet towards the sky, and that should support of the block beneath you should be super comfy. And the arms are on the floor. We're really pressing through the arms. So we're not like, the arms are not falling asleep. Inhale, exhale, keep that active, keep the feet active, point your toes, alternating, pointing and flexing. So as we do shoulder stand here, we're also supported shoulder stand. We're also activating that therapy in the neck, the thyroid function, the easing off of stress on the neck. And take the feet into flexed, and then we're going to just open and close the legs, activating our lower abdominals as well as our inner thigh muscles. Nice. And then we'll tiptoe through our flowers again. Point and flex. Beautiful. Let's take the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the side. Our hands find the ankles and support the ankles as we open up into a cobbler or a butterfly. And then up towards the sky again. Let's see if we can reach up and alternate here between our butterfly and our supported shoulder stand or candlestick legs. And yeah, we don't want to forget about our hips, right? So we're getting some nice glide through the hips. Another couple rounds here. Beautiful. And then feet find the floor, lift up and lift, remove the block, come on down. We're going to take the knees together, the feet wide apart. And then we're going to take our what we call crazy legs. So our right knee is going to trace the left shin down towards the left foot, otherwise known as windshield wipers. but we're keeping the knee in contact with the shin. Right knee traces back up to the left knee, and then we're going to trace the left knee down the right shin towards the right foot, and then back up again. Gentle windshield wipers that keep contact with the knee and the shin so that we protect the low back. And then we're going to take the arms, link the thumbs into the elbow creases and the arms above the head so we can lengthen our sides. One more time. Find your breath. And then bring the forearms above the face, and we're going to slide side to side with our elbows, but in the opposite direction of the knees. This is a great time to release whatever you don't need. If there's some stress or negativity, cleanse it out, release it. The spine is holding it perhaps, so just allow it to squeeze it out. Now we're going to take the head side to side, the gaze, the neck. We're going to bring it over to the right and the left, away from the elbows. Again, squeezing out of our nervous system and our spine, anything we don't need. Invite in what you do need. And then use your eyes to follow your elbows. And this is the opposite direction of your head. I know this is confusing, but it really isn't, a test or anything. So do it your best, the best you can. But notice, again, the rotation, the beautiful coiling of the spine, all the way through, all the way to the crown of the head. Oh, so lovely. A lovely twist that is just so active and yet also really settles in the practice into the spine. Great. Come back, knees together. Drape the arms next to the body, one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And just noticing this pose called easy pose. Taking a scan here. Noticing the difference in the body, or if there are lingering areas of tension, address those, oxygenate. Inhale to those places, send your intention and attention there. And exhale. Therapeutic breath. And if you've got the eyes closed, flutter them open. I'm going to suggest supported fish for our Shavasana. So part of the Shavasana anyway, you're going to take a roll blanket or a folded blanket, about 3/4 fold, towards the top of the mat, about 3/4 of the way up the mat. And if you haven't done this before, I'll explain it. We're going to lift up and support the neck. I have a little roll as well for my neck. So if you want to have something there, I suggest that as well. It's not absolutely necessary. We're going to drape our spine over this blanket so that take the hand. So sit up about 3/4 of the way down the mat. Use your hands behind you and sit up, and then take the backs of your shoulder blades to the blanket. Support the skull as you start to come down towards the mat. Bend the knees, feet are on the floor. And drape yourself down. The head comes down to the mat or to another blanket or any kind of support, but you want the blanket underneath your shoulder blades, but the shoulder sockets want to be on the floor. So what you're doing is supporting the melting of your shoulder sockets towards the floor, but the lifting of your ribs and the lifting of the sternum. Arms come out into a T or they come into cactus next to you. So make sure that this feels good. You don't want any weird sensations. You want this to feel good. You can support your neck with a tiny little whatever roll of towel, whatever you want, or not, or you can more importantly, find that space so that you're supporting the shoulder blades and that your shoulders, the back of the shoulders, are on the floor. Scoot yourself around as much as possible just to get comfortable. If you don't want to do this, you can just do a regular Shavasana. That's fine too. Now, with the knees bent, just supporting the low back here and the rising up of the sternum, you can keep them bent, or you can straighten out the right leg and then the left with the lift of the sternum there. Unrounding all of that energy we might have in our daily activities. Find your breath again. So notice the breath traveling into the ribs with this extra support beneath you. You really notice that expanding of the ribs. And the exhale. So keep the feet flopped out to the side if you have that straightened legs, or if they're bent, bring the knees together and the feet wide apart so that you're not straining through your low back. Gravity, just dropping those shoulders more towards the earth. Relax your third eye. The mental clutter falling away. Imagine yourself light as a feather. The whole body is light as a feather. The skeleton, everything is just floating. Alternate with this sensation by imagining the body heavy as lead. So the whole body's settling in with that heavy feeling, as if it were the bones were made of steel or lead, and it's just dropping, surrendering to the heavy energy. Now feel the body light as a feather. Just make a sudden change, feeling light as a feather. And then feel heavy again. Now imagine a space in between that lightness and that heaviness, and just reside in that beautiful balance. If at any point you're uncomfortable with this supported fish pose beneath you with the blanket, you could remove that. Spend another moment in our regular Shavasana. The spine aligned. Scanning the body with the breath, finding balance, finding that continuity. When the body releases, so does the mind and the spirit. See if we can find that synchronicity with the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And if you are on that blanket still, just roll over onto your side, gently remove it, rest for a moment, allowing the spine to settle, and helping yourself up to a seated position with your hands, gently, gently rising up. Head is the last to lift up. Feel that rising up, taller than when we began. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart and Andale Mudra. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. Namaste.